Am I being detained?
No, you're not being detained, no.
See you later then.
But you're not, you can't go through there.
You're harassing me.
I'm not harassing
you. I'm trying to walk away. Okay, I'm going to go this way instead then.
No, if you...
No, I'm going to go to the bus stop.
Okay.
Leave me alone.
Before we even press play, understand this encounter starts with one simple question: am I being detained? And from that moment, everything unravels. What you're about to watch isn't shouting, chaos, or someone resisting arrest. It's something far more uncomfortable for the officers involved: calm, controlled insistence on legal clarity. A man with a camera on a university campus. No crime reported, just suspicion. But suspicion of what? And more importantly, suspicion based on what? This interaction quickly becomes a masterclass in how authority can blur when it isn't anchored to clearly articulated law. You'll see officers say he's free to go, then try to control where he goes. You'll hear references to terrorism without evidence. You'll watch hypothetical powers get floated when actual grounds don't exist. And as the minutes tick by, the real tension isn't danger, it's justification. This isn't about whether filming is polite. It's about whether lawful behavior can be reframed as suspicious simply because someone feels uncomfortable. Pay attention to the shifting tone, the strategic wording, and the moments where the officers can't quite define the power they're implying. Because by the end of this, the only thing clearer than the camera lens is the lack of articulated offense.
Are you guys here for me?
Yeah, hi.
Oh, why? Can you maintain your distance there?
Can. Of course, yeah.
And also identify yourselves. Did you just switch your camera on?
Yeah.
Alright, please don't delete that. I'll be requesting a copy, alright? Also yours, please don't delete that. I'll be requesting a copy.
Of course.
Alright, can you identify yourselves, please,
Can I
officers?
ask you first, sorry, what was your first name, my friend?
I'm not at liberty to give you that. When you approach a member of the public, you identify yourself. That's your policy, so identify yourself.
Okay. So my name is Simon Tops, Police Constable 693, Simon Tops, Avon, Somerset Police.
And yours is?
My colleague.
5512, Josh Burnell.
Alright, and what crime have I committed, or do you suspect me of committing?
Okay, what are you being so hostile?
I'm not being hostile, I'm just asking you, because when the police approach me,
Yeah.
police come to deal with crimes, do they not?
Not necessarily, no.
What do they come to deal with? Civil matters?
Well, we're here to prevent crime.
So what crime do you suspect me of about to commit?
Not suggesting you're committing a crime at all.
Alright then.
What was your first name, so I can talk to you on first name basis?
No, it's fine, I'm not going to give you that.
Okay. Are you filming at the moment?
I am indeed, for my own
Okay, what's the
protection.
purpose of you filming?
My own purpose.
Right.
And right there, that's the pivot point. When someone is told they're not detained, the legal implication is clear: they are free to leave. No restrictions. No directional control. No trailing oversight disguised as casual conversation. Watch closely what happens next. Because what often unfolds in encounters like this is what I call the soft leash. You're not detained, but you can't go that way. You're free, but we need to know where you're headed. It's a contradiction that shows up again and again in public encounters. Notice Ed doesn't escalate. He doesn't argue volume with volume. He does the simplest possible thing: he attempts to leave. That action alone tests whether the officer's words actually match their conduct. And in situations like this, consistency is everything. If freedom is conditional, then it isn't freedom at all. The next few seconds expose whether "not detained" truly means what it says.
Can I ask why you're here at the...
Can I ask you a question? Am I being detained?
No, you're not being detained, no.
See you later then.
But you can't go through there.
I just asked the gentleman if I could go through, and he
Okay.
says yeah.
Chris?
Did you not just tell me the way to the bus station?
You did ask me where the bus are.
And left at the machine and all the way down?
I did say that.
Yeah.
Okay, can
Okay.
I just...
No, you can't actually.
Okay, well, whilst you're walking, I'll just make it quite
Are you
clear
following
for
me?
I'm not following
You're
you.
harassing me.
I'm not harassing
I'm trying
you,
to
I'm
walk
talking
away.
to
Okay,
you.
I'm going to go this way instead then.
No, if you...
So if you no, I'm going to go to the bus stop.
Okay.
Leave me alone. All right.
Okay, that's fine. If you make your way to the bus stop, that'd be great.
I'm not going. You're not going to follow me.
What?
Which way are you going?
Sorry?
Which way are you going?
Look, if you don't want me to follow...
I'm just asking you which way you're going.
I'm not here to call...
I'm just asking you which way you're going.
It doesn't matter which way I go. I can go whichever way I like. I'm not being...
All right, I'll wait for you to go then.
I'm not being dictated to by you.
Do you know your
where
oath?
I go. All right?
Do you know your oath?
Yeah, I do.
Can you say it to me?
No.
I'll start you
I'm
off.
not going to say it to you.
I'll start you off.
I'm not here to justify my actions.
No,
to
you're
you.
here to uphold the law.
I am
Have I
upholding
broken it?
Not at the moment, you haven't.
So leave me.
This is where the tone subtly shifts from inquiry to implication. The officers approach without explaining a specific allegation. When Ed asks what crime he's suspected of committing, they don't answer directly. Instead, they pivot to demeanor, calling him hostile. That word is important. Hostile becomes a convenient substitute when actual legal grounds aren't immediately available. Asking an officer to articulate suspicion isn't aggression. It's accountability. If police are empowered to intervene, that power must be tied to something definable, not just discomfort or optics. Notice how often the question gets reversed back onto him. Why are you filming? But in a free society, the burden isn't on the citizen to justify lawful activity. The burden is on the state to justify interference. That distinction matters more than the tone of the conversation ever could.
It isn't consensual.
That's fine.
Policing by consent, leave me alone.
Okay, off you go then.
No, I will
Have a
go.
nice day.
I will go when I'm ready.
Okay, that's
Okay,
fine.
cool.
Have a nice day.
I will. I'm actually having a lovely day.
Okay. If you could make your way to the bus station, though,
Why?
that would be great.
Why?
Okay, that's fine. I'm not here.
So why do you keep telling me what to do?
I'm not telling you what to
You
do.
are. You just said make your way to the bus station.
You
Like,
said
what
you were
right?
making your way- you
Can I just ask you, what right do you have to tell me what to do when I haven't broken the law?
Okay.
You haven't got a right to tell me what to do when I haven't broken the law. So stop trying to bully me.
I'm not trying to.
Yes,
bully
you are. You're
I'm
trying to
find
tell
out-
me what to do.
I'm trying to find out why you're walking around a university
Because
with
I'm
a camera.
I'll tell you why. Because I'm allowed to.
Okay.
Photography is
But
not a
some
crime.
of this university is private premises.
No, it's not, bro.
It is,
Do you know?
okay,
Are you
that's where you're wrong.
are you familiar with Section 33 of the Criminal Justice Act 1972?
No, I'm not.
No,
No,
you're
not
not. But you
particularly.
should be.
Okay.
Because it's the law.
Okay.
Which says at the material time of operating, the public are allowed access, whether upon payment or not.
To where?
Anywhere that is open. This is a public space. These lines were painted by the council.
This is where the contradiction becomes undeniable. He's told he's not detained. He attempts to leave. They question his direction. They shadow him. They ask where he's going. That's not neutral presence, that's controlled movement without calling it detention. You can't simultaneously say someone is free while managing their path like an escort. Then comes the oath question. That's not theatrics. That's strategic. The oath represents the standard officers swear to uphold: impartial enforcement, lawful conduct, protection of rights. When asked to repeat it, the refusal isn't illegal, but it's revealing. Because the entire encounter revolves around justification. And when an officer says, "I'm not here to justify my actions," that statement clashes directly with the principle of policing by consent. Authority isn't self-validating. It has to be grounded in clearly explainable law.
I think you're mistaken.
No,
This part of
I'm
this
not.
university is private property.
Can I just ask you
There
another
is
something?
public access
If I
to
was to
part
say
of
to
the
you,
university.
if I was to say to you, I'm not going anywhere, what could you do?
Sorry?
If I was to say to you, I'm not going to leave now, what could you do?
Well, I don't intend to do anything.
You
at the moment.
couldn't do anything because I haven't broken the law. When those guys rang you and reported a crime, what you should have said to them is not breaking
They
the
have
law.
reported a crime.
What did they do?
Reported a suspicious person filming at a university campus.
Is photography a crime? You're recording. You're
Well, I
recording.
don't know.
You guys, let
How
me
do
just
I
say,
know
you,
that you're not filming for terrorist
do you know?
purposes?
You see that on your uniform?
Yeah.
That thin blue line thing.
How
That is
do
an
I-
utter disgrace.
How do I know?
You disgrace the country with that.
How do I know that you're not filming for terrorist purposes?
Sir, we
for
go.
example?
Sir, we go on what we do know, what we don't, not what we don't.
Well, not necessarily.
No,
That's again
so-
where you're wrong. Isn't
Okay,
It?
so what reasonable suspicion do you have that I'm a terrorist,
Well,
sir?
you're filming a university campus.
So you're
with a
trying to get me
camera.
on Section 43.
No, I'm not.
So why did you mention it then?
Well, because I'm just explaining that you seem to think that I can only act when a crime's been reported.
No. You're more than willing to come up to me and ask me.
Yeah.
If you can articulate reasonable suspicion that I may be a terrorist,
Well, you're walking around a university campus with a camera. And
This is a uni.
And you won't explain why.
but I don't have to.
Now the discussion moves into territory, literally. Public access versus private premises. This is where legal precision matters. The officer asserts it's private property. Ed counters with Section 33 of the Criminal Justice Act 1972, emphasizing public access where the public is ordinarily permitted. And notice something crucial: the officer admits he isn't familiar with it. That moment isn't about winning an argument. It's about knowledge versus assumption. If you're enforcing boundaries, you must be able to define them. Public highways marked by council lines don't magically become restricted because security feels uneasy. The distinction between private ownership and public access rights is legally significant. And without clarity, enforcement becomes guesswork. When authority operates on assumption instead of statutory grounding, confidence replaces competence, and that's a dangerous substitute.
Well, then that gives me suspicion of what your activity is.
So you think I'm a terrorist? You have reasonable suspicion that I am up to terrorist activities.
I don't know why you're...
I'm not engaged in any
why are you
hostile
filming?
reconnaissance because I can, as my rights allow me to. Is this not a free country?
Yeah, but...
So, and am I not allowed to own a camera?
You are allowed to
You're
own a camera.
filming. What's the difference between
You're
you
allowed
and
to own a
I?
camera and you're allowed to film.
What's
And
the
I'm
difference
not-
between you
and
and...
I'm not preventing you
why-
from doing that.
But why
I'm
are you
not
accusing me of
actually
being a
turning the camera
terrorist then?
off. I'm not accusing you of being
Well, why
a
are you saying I'm
terrorist.
suspicious?
I'm just saying there are some concerns about your
What concerns?
nature of what you're filming
What
in Nancy
concerns?
University.
What concerns?
But then it gives me suspicion for why you're here with a camera.
Suspicion is not a crime.
No, but it gives me grounds to do certain things if I feel it necessary.
Are you threatening me?
I'm not threatening you. I'm
what do you mean
explaining
then?
what the law is.
Well, you don't know the law because that's not
Well,
right.
I think I do.
Well, tell me what reasonable suspicion you have.
Well, why are you filming a university when it's
I'm not telling
closed
you.
with a camera?
I'm not telling you.
Okay, well then I'm suspicious.
That's fine. You can be suspicious.
I can, yeah.
Yeah, you can.
But then I can also act on that suspicion
No, you
if
can't.
I feel it appropriate.
You can. Yeah, you can, and I'll sue you.
Okay, well, but that's my decision.
Yeah, I know, and you'll lose your job.
Well, I'm not doing that, am I?
No, because you're scared
But
to.
you're not helping our cause.
I don't
here,
have
are
to
you?
help you.
This is the most telling exchange so far. The suspicion escalates, not because of behavior, but because of refusal to explain behavior. You won't explain why you're filming, so I'm suspicious. But legal suspicion cannot be manufactured from silence. The right to remain silent doesn't morph into reasonable suspicion simply because an officer is dissatisfied, then the leap toward terrorism. That's not a small implication. Section 43 powers under counterterrorism legislation require reasonable suspicion tied to hostile reconnaissance or preparatory acts. Holding a camera in a publicly accessible space does not, by itself, articulate that threshold. When officers suggest, "How do we know you're not filming for terrorist purposes?" they're framing possibility as probability. Policing operates on evidence and articulable facts, not worst-case hypotheticals. Without specifics, suspicion becomes imagination dressed as authority.
I don't have to help you, do I?
You don't have to.
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, okay. I think we understand where we are.
I know where I understand where I am. I know the
understand
law,
where
you
I am.
don't. You those gentlemen over there, the guys who called the police, whoever called the police, I suggest you go and speak to them about Section 5 of the Criminal Law Act 1967, making a false report, because that's wasting police time, which is actually a criminal offence.
Okay. It's been nice talking to you. If you're heading towards the bus stop, then
I'll go wherever I like.
Have a lovely day.
I'll go wherever I like.
Well, you won't go wherever you like.
I will, indeed.
Because parts of this.
I'll go anywhere that is
university-
publicly accessible, I will go.
Yeah.
Yeah? And no one will stop me.
Yeah.
Not those guys up there, not you guys
But what
either.
you need to understand at the moment.
I don't need to understand
just so
anything.
that
I know
we're
the
clear,
law.
Is so do I.
Yeah, no you don't.
So do I. Okay.
You don't. You don't even
This
know
is
what Criminal Justice Section 33 of the Criminal Justice Act 1972 is. Do you know it?
This is a
You need to
private.
know the ins and outs.
Of course you know. Of course, if you're gonna uphold the law, you have to know the ins and outs of the law. How can you tell me that you don't have to know the ins and outs of the law, but then you're here to uphold it? How does that make sense?
Here's where it escalates rhetorically: breach of the peace. That power exists to prevent imminent violence or real risk of disorder. It is not a conversational backstop. When Ed directly asks what conduct of his is threatening or abusive, the officer answers, "Nothing at the moment." That admission is pivotal. If there's no threatening conduct, no aggression, no volatility building, then breach of the peace cannot logically apply. Invoking it in the absence of qualifying behavior turns a preventative doctrine into a pressure tactic. And courts have repeatedly emphasized that such powers must be exercised proportionately and based on genuine risk, not discomfort or irritation. Once again, hypothetical future behavior is floated to justify present authority. But the law doesn't operate on what if. It operates on what is.
You're even a Somerset Constabulary, innit?
Okay.
Absolute joke.
It's been a pleasure talking to you.
I haven't enjoyed myself, actually. You've ruined my day. So go away now, please.
Parts of the university are private premises. There are public access routes.
I won't go anywhere that is
Okay.
private. I haven't been anywhere that's private, and I will not go anywhere that's private. As you could probably understand from the way I speak, I know exactly what I'm doing, sir. I know the laws that surround what I'm doing. I don't appreciate you accusing me of being a terrorist.
Well,
What's your number
I've not
again?
accused you of being a terrorist. I've explained.
693. You threatened
No, I
me. You
haven't.
said, "Oh, now I've got reason."
I've not threatened
Mate,
you
listen,
at all.
the camera doesn't lie.
I've not threatened you.
The camera doesn't
You
lie.
can play your camera back.
I will. I'll be playing to your
at all.
superior.
I'm just explaining that if you're filming an empty university that's actually closed at the moment, to the university's actually closed. All right, to the students. It's
I'm not a
closed,
student.
It's closed to staff.
I'm not staff.
So why are you here?
I'm a member of the public, and I'm in a publicly accessible area.
Right.
That's why I'm
Okay.
here.
Well, that's fine. If you want to film
I know it's fine.
in open public spaces.
Yeah, and I'm allowed.
That's fine, but
Yeah.
you won't be filming inside buildings.
I don't want to film inside
okay?
a building.
And if you trespass in private property,
It's a civil matter. Are you telling me that you're going to do something for a civil matter?
I will do. 'Cause
Okay. Oh, so
What ultimately defines this encounter isn't aggression, it's the absence of articulated offense. No detention. No search. No formal warning grounded in statute. No clearly defined boundary crossed. The suspicion never solidifies into lawful action because it never had a specific, evidence-based foundation to begin with. This case highlights something critical: authority must always be explainable. Not assumed. Not implied. Not stretched through hypotheticals. When lawful activity is treated as inherently suspicious without definable grounds, the burden shifts away from the rule of law and toward subjective interpretation. And that's exactly why these breakdowns matter. If you found this case as eye-opening as we did, hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't
that's
if
another
the security
complaint.
asks you to leave a private
They
premises and you
but I
refuse,
haven't been on private property.
and you refuse
But I haven't
to,
been on private property.
then I'll have
Sir,
to consider
listen.
my powers under the breach of the peace.
Oh, so now you're threatening me for a crime that
No,
listen, what part of my behaviour is threatening or abusive?
Well, nothing at the moment.
Okay, so don't threaten me with something that
I'm not
hasn't
threatening
happened
you.
or that isn't going to
I
happen.
also
You
know
are.
the
That's
law,
no. Listen, you're
okay?
just threatening me with breach of the peace when a breach of the peace isn't going to happen
Well,
because
one
I'm
of
not
my
acting in.
fundamental roles is to prevent a breach of the peace.
Yeah, but there's going to be no breach of the peace because I'm not acting in
That's
threatening
correct.
or abusive
So
behaviour.
All I'm saying is don't go into private
I could-
premises,
listen,
don't film in the
how many
buildings.
times do you want to say that?
Okay, otherwise...
How many times do you want to say that, considering the fact that I said...
And then I'll have to support them to prevent the breach of the peace, is all I'm saying.
Well, that's fine. You
And
could
that's
do.
me knowing my law.
That's fine. You could do that, but
Yeah,
I promise
can,
you
yeah.
that if the course of action that you've just stated happens, I'll sue you,
Well, that's fine. You're entitled to sue
and I'm
me.
going to make a complaint. 3 complaints in this 8 minutes 46 seconds, and 3 complaints about you. You're smart for keeping your mouth shut.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
You can complain.
See you later, then, guys. Go.
Okay, just be rude.
I'm not being rude.
Okay.
Plus, is rudeness a crime? Is this a free country? If I would like to be rude, I'm well within my rights to be rude.
Okay.
Okay. So go away, please, and leave me alone. You're harassing me.
Okay, that's fine. Thanks
All
very
right.
much.
Go away now. Told me I can't record in there, so now I'm going to have to walk round. You inform these guys that photography is not a crime as well, yeah? You educate these guys on the law. No. You're here. You're a public servant. You're here to uphold the law.
Yep.
These guys have broken the law by filing a false report.
They haven't,
Okay.
no.
Yes, they have. Yes, they have. They reported a crime when there wasn't a crime being committed. They made a false report. It is a breach of Section 5 of the Criminal Law Act 1967, and you are failing in your job right now,
Okay.
officer,
Well,
constable.
Thanks very much. It's been very nice talking to you. If you can maintain yourself on the public places,
I'll go wherever I like. Thank you.
You know what my position is.
I'll
in
go
relation
wherever.
to
Yeah, you made threats. You made a threat of
I've not made a
arrest. You
threat.
did. You made an illegal threat of arrest. Bullies, guys.